Ohai. Cameroon, the state in the western part of the Central Africa, in the southwest washed by Gulf Bonny waters. A part of the Gulf of Guinea of the Atlantic Ocean. The capital of Cameroon, Yaoundé. Member of the Union. 1960. African Union. 1963. ENF. 1963. IBRD. 1963. UDO. 1995. British Commonwealth of Nations. 1995. The name of the country comes from a Gadronym of Rio dos Camarões. Port. Rio dos Camarões, River of Shrimps. This Gadronym arose after opening by the Portuguese seafarers in the 1480th years of the mouth of the Vuri River, where a large number of shrimps was found. In the subsequent by Gadronym it was transformed to the Cameroon form. The territory of the country lies to the north of the equator. The extreme southern point is removed from it less than on 200 km. Coastline extent, about 320 km. Borders in the northwest on Nigeria, in the north and the northeast, on Chad, in the east, on the Central African Republic, in the south, on Gabon, the Republic of Congo and Equatorial Guinea. The highest point of the country, Mount Foko -4040 m. The relief of Cameroon is characterized by alternation of mountains. Cameroonian mountains. Plateaus and plains. The sheep part of the Atlantic coast is occupied with the accumulative lowland. Places boggy. With wide estuaria. Independently on the coast Cameroon. 4100 m. Operating track basaltic towers. To the south of the Lobe River the coast becomes high and rocky. In the central part of the country the clumpy mountains Adamova up to 2460 m high. Of Chebelmbabo. Complicated by young lava covers and cones of extinct volcanoes tower. To the south from these mountains the so-called Denudachini Plateaus borrowing are located. She part of the territory of Cameroon. To the north from mountains Adamova the sublime bedded plain adjoining in the west on low altitude mountains Mandara lies. Far north the country is occupied by the lake and accumulative plain of the hollow of the Lake Chad flooded during a rainy season. The extreme southeast of Cameroon lies on the outskirts of the Hollow of Congo. From minerals Cameroon has oil and gas fields on the shelf, gold, ores of nickel, manganese, cobalt, iron, tin, titanium, uranium. Climatic conditions of Cameroon differ in various parts of the country. In the south climate equatorial, constant and damp, in the center and in the north, subequatorial, with rainy summer and in the dry winter. Duration of a dry season from the south on the north increases from 4 to 7 months. The western and southwest volcano slopes Cameroon, the most damp place in Africa. Up to 96.55 m of rainfall a year. And one of the most damp places in the world. Temperature. Coast 24-28. February-March. 22-24. July-August. Center 22-24. April-May. 20-21. December-January. North 32, 33. April, May 26, 27. December, January. Less than. The dense and river network of Cameroon abounding in water belongs to the basin of the Atlantic Ocean, except for far north and the northeast, which rivers flow into the Lake Chad. The largest river which basin entirely is in Cameroon is Sanaga. The rivers originating on northern slopes of mountains Adamawa flow into Benue, which is the main inflow of Niger. The rivers flowing on the southeast flow into Sanga belonging to the basin of Congo. For hydropower needs, large reservoirs are created. Mbeko, Lido, Bemenzing. The woods and light forests occupy about a half of the territory of the country. In Cameroonian forests almost all tropical species of trees grow. Ficuses, a breadfruit tree, eucalyptuses, palm trees are most typical. It is a lot of valuable breeds best-selling in the world market. Different types of mahogany, such as common cashew, vulture, tudisapella. To specify ebony, a yellow tree, also others, giving valuable ornamental and construction wood. One of species of the well-known iron tree is a lot of breeds of trees with exclusively solid, heavy wood among them. His wood is used in port economy and for production of cross ties. Density of a vegetable cover increases from the north by the south. In process of removal from the Lake Chad and its savannas are replaced, difficult to replace, which in the central part of the country the light forests and Nestabino evergreen forests, which are replaced in the south by damp evergreen equatorial forests with one of the highest levels of biodiversity in Africa. On volcanoes slopes Cameroon mountain evergreen forests higher than 3,000 m are replaced by mountain meadows. Along the coast mangrove thickets grow. As a part of Cameroonian flora, more than 9,000 species of the higher plants. Fauna, it is presented by 1,000 bird species, over 300 species of mammals, 200 species of reptiles. Various primacies. Monkeys, colobuses, gorilla, a chimpanzee, gorillas. Elephants, hippopotamuses, vintorigi antelopes live in forests. A bongo, a sitatunga. In savannas, giraffes, buffaloes, antelopes, a black rhinoceros, ostriches, a marabou, bustards are numerous, lions and leopards meet. Also the water fauna is rich. In coastal waters over 130 species of fish, among which there is a lot of valuable trade, and also crabs, shrimps, spiny lobsters meet. The frigoliath, the largest of recent frogs, lives in forests of a coastal strip. Sanaga, Nyong are rich with freshwater fishes of the river of pools of Vuri. Pygmies were the most ancient population of Cameroon. Then the south colonized Benue, Congolese tribes and the people Tuebo. In the 15th century the tribes of Massa belonging to Chadsky family came. In 1472 the first contacts with Europeans are made. At the beginning of the 17th century, in the north of present Cameroon, the early feudal state of Mandara was formed. In 1715 Mandara's governor allowed Muslim preachers to the country, and Mandara became a sultanate. In the 16th century Tué Fulba, belonging to the Atlantic family, began to get on the north of Cameroon. In the 19th century, thanks to Jihad Gilan, practically all northern Cameroon was a part of the Muslim state, which center was located in the territory of northern Nigeria.
Till 1884 all area of Cameroon was in power of independent foremen from whom kings of Douala were the most powerful until three German firms acquired the supreme power over the area Douala and transferred her to the German government.
In 1884-1916 I was colony of Germany. During World War I in 1916 it is occupied by the Anglo-French troops. The League of Nations in July 1922 provided them mandates of management, and Cameroon was divided between Great Britain and France. The local population excited rebellions against colonialists. In 1922, 1928, 29, 1931. After World War II the national liberation movement amplified. Cameroon gained independence on January 1, 1960. Amadou Akidzo, the Cameroonian Union coup. Party leader became the first president, the leader of the Cameroonian National Democratic Party. Siaditsi. Jean Anoufancha till 1970 held the vice president's post.
In the 1960s the southern part of the British Cameroon reunited with the main Cameroon.
As a result of a referendum on May 20, 1972 Cameroon from the Federal Republic was transformed to unitary. Under pressure of the French government in November 1982 Akidzo resigned, having delegated the powers to Paul Biya. Cameroon is the Republic. The constitution of the country works since 1972. Cameroon is a part of the Commonwealth headed by Great Britain. The head of state, the president, who is also supreme commander. The president is elected by universal suffrage for a period of 7 years. No more than 2 terms.
The current president Paul Biya holds a post of the President of Cameroon continuously since November 6, 1982.
The regular presidential elections took place in October 2011, at them he defeated Biya again. AB. Executive power is carried out by the president and the government headed by the prime minister. The legislature is carried out by unicameral parliament, the National Assembly minus 180 deputies. According to the constitutional amendments of 1996, creation of the upper house, the Senate is a part of 100 deputies. On 10 people from each of 10 provinces. Is provided from whom 70 senators have to be elected by the Electoral College, and 30 to be appointed the president. However, the Senate is still not created. Ruling party since 1961 is the Democratic Movement of the Cameroonian People, now has 140 seats in parliament. In September 2017 separatists in English-speaking territories of Northwest and Southwest regions, altogether known as the Southern Cameroon, announced independence and began fight against the government. This movement is known as English language crisis.
The ruling party, the People's Democratic Movement of Cameroon, considers separatists terrorists and supports a military solution to the conflict.
Meanwhile, the opposition openly declares the criticism of actions of the government for settlement of the conflict. In January 2019 the Social Democratic Front declared that it will be against any future elections in the country while war still continues. Population minus 27. 7 million. A census for July 2020. Annual gain minus 2.78%. Fertility minus 4.66 births on the woman. Average life expectancy minus 60.6 years at men. Women have 64 years. Contamination, a virus of an immunodeficiency. HIV. Minus 3.6%. Assessment for 2018. In the country there are about 250 ethnic groups. The largest, 21%. A Bamileke, 19%. Douala, 11%. A Fulbe, 10%. 7%. Official languages, French and English. Religions minus 38. 3% Catholics. 25.5% Protestants. 24.4% Muslims. 6.9% other Christians. 2.2% animists. 2.7% others. According to 2018. Literacy minus 82.6% of men. 71.6% of women. Assessment of 2018. Urban population minus 57.6%. In 2020. Official languages are English and French. French, more than 80%, is most widespread. In the territories which were earlier belonging to Britain, language of communication is the Cameroonian Pidgin N. From the middle of the 1970th years in the city centers mix of English, French and Pidgin under the name Camfranlaise gains popularity. The government encourages bilingualism in the English and French languages, therefore official government documents, the new legislation and voting bulletins, among other things, are written and provided in both languages.
Within an initiative of promotion of bilingualism in Cameroon, 6 of 8 universities of the country completely via Sichna.
Besides colonial languages, about 20 million Cameroonians speak approximately 250 other languages. For this reason, Cameroon is considered one of the most various countries on language in the world. In 2017, Massachusetts protests of Anglophones began minds alleged oppression from Francophones. Against protesters, troops were sent that led to loss of life. Hundreds were imprisoned and thousands fled the country. The conflict received the name English language crisis. Religion, 70.7%. Islam, 24.4%. Pacific Rim, 2.2%. Others, 7%. About 40% of the population, Christians. Mainly Catholics. 22% Muslims, the others adherents of traditional African beliefs. An animalism, fetishism, a cult of ancestors and forces of nature and others. Thanks to reserves of oil and favorable conditions for agriculture, the economy of Cameroon is one of the most self-sufficient in Africa. DDD per capita in 2009 to $3,000. The 11th place in Africa, the 108th place in the world.
However, nearly a half of the population below the poverty line.
Unemployment rate about 30%. Agriculture. 70% working, 20% of TDD. Coffee, cocoa, cotton, rubber, bananas, olive, grain, root crops. Stone. Peaches, nectarines, apricots, tomatoes, cucumbers, oranges, pepper. Cattle breeding, logging. The industry. 13% working, 30% of TDD. Production and oil refining, aluminum production, the food industry, consumer goods, textiles, timber, small ship repair. Services industry minus 17% working, 50% of TDD. Export in 2017, $4.27 billion. The main export goods, crude oil. $1.34 billion. Timber. $616 million. Cocoa beans. $492 million. Bananas. $306 million. And the raw wood. $219 million. The main buyers, France. 13%, $559 million. China. 11%, $488 million. Italy. 9.2%, $392 million. Belgium, Luxembourg and the Netherlands. Import in 2017, $5.88 billion. The main import goods, oil products. $396 million. Vessels of a special purpose. $351 million. Rice. $304 million. Medicines. $195 million. The main suppliers, China. 18%, $1.06 billion. France. 9.3%, $548 million. The Republic of Congo. 7. 5%, $441 million. Thailand and Nigeria. Cameroon is a member of the following international organizations. Organization of African Unity. Central African Customs and Economic Union. UDAC. Union. In 2019, the United States President Donald Trump reduced military aid to Cameroon for the acts of violence committed by Cameroonian army-minded citizens. He also eliminated Cameroon of the countries having duty-free access to the American market. The healthcare in Cameroon remains at a low level. The most part of the territory outside the large cities isn't equipped with medical care. There are such diseases as malaria, meningitis, a sleeping sickness, schistosomiasis, dengue fever develop. 5.5% of the population aged from 15 up to 49 years are infected with HIV. In many areas, folk healers are a popular alternative to the Western medicine. The budget of education minus 3.7% of TDD. School education only in French or in English languages. Mainly in French. Since 2000, free primary education, but a school uniform and textbooks are got at the expense of parents. This factor also influences decrease in visit of school of children from needy families. Level of literacy is 71.3%. However, gender inequality, the main reasons, early marriages is observed. School textbooks are filled with both the academic knowledge and practical knowledge of agriculture, poultry farming. In Cameroon there are 8 state universities in Buea, Bamenda, Douala, Chang, Merwa, Ndronda and Yaoundé and 2. In the 1990s most of students found a job on public service. The state broadcasting company, Cameroon Radio Television (CRTV), is founded in 1987, includes CRTV Tele TV channel. It is started on December 23, 1985. National radio station CRTV Radio and provincial radio stations. Cameroon, the homeland of such genre of the African pop music as Amakossa. From the name of dance braid Douala, popular with the people.
Arisen in the city of Douala, he was first closely connected with musical folklore and was widely adopted only at missionary schools.
However, by the end of the 1960th years of Amakossa became popular across all Cameroon, and from the 1970th I began to win also world fame. In parallel approaching jazz, halefi, and other genres. A big role in this process was played by the saxophonist Tumainde Bangwo, in whose music elements of Amakossa, jazz and funk are combined.
Its single Amakossa, which appeared in 1972 for a short term, became known in many countries of the world, and still it is considered one of the brightest works by the Bangwo, whose career proceeds to this day.
Other outstanding figures of pop music: Sam Fan Thomas, the second in degree popularity, the Cameroonian musician. After the Bangwo. And Toto Guillaume, one of bright representatives of a genre, the pop Makossa, who in the 1980th years began to develop actively in Paris. Cameroonian cuisine, one of the most various in Africa because of arrangement of Cameroon at the intersection of ways between the north, the west and the center of the continent. Ethnic variety, mixture of cultures of tribes to Abo, Sevenbo and Arabs. It is necessary to add the impact of the German colonization, and then the French and English annexation of various parts of the country to it. The soccer and track and field athletics are popular. The national football team, Olympic champions of 2000, 5-time champions of Africa. Also far. Write comments. Read comments. Interesting people will tell interesting stories. All of good mood and good luck.